This is the single leg Romanian deadlift, or RDL for short. Start by grabbing the weight in the opposite hand of the foot that is planted on the ground. Then, initially we want to kick back the unplanted leg to create this forward momentum at the torso. Take note that when I'm at the end range of the movement at the bottom, that my rear leg and my torso are in a relatively straight line. Also note that the weight is not touching the ground. Depending on the length of your hamstrings during the movement, you may or may not touch the ground. What we're trying to feel is a nice stretch when we get to this point here. Once you feel that stretch, you want to contract out of that stretch by driving the torso up simultaneously with bringing the opposite leg back to the neutral position. Be sure to keep the big toe really planted. You can see how my arch is nice and facilitated, maintaining my balance there even when I get a little bit off balance. Now let's take a look at a couple of common mistakes. Here's two common mistakes that I see when people are performing a single leg RDL or Romanian deadlift. Number one is the level of your hips. To check the level of your hips, grab a broomstick or a PVC pipe. Place the pipe on the butt or the belt line.
Ka-ching!
What you probably noticed is on that first repetition, the pole was leaning. What we want to see is a very even or relatively even pole throughout the entire repetition, which means that your hips are relatively level. Second mistake is the positioning of the weight.
Ka-ching!
Proper form on the single leg RDL with weight is going to be keeping the weight a little bit closer to your feet or your toes. The closer the weight is to the body, the more easy it is to control. So keeping the hips level, keeping the weight closer to your body is going to allow for better balance, which means better contraction out of the hamstrings, better contraction out of the glutes.